Imagine you're relaxing at home when suddenly, your landlord unlocks the door and steps inside without warning. It's a situation that can feel unsettling and intrusive. But is it actually legal for a landlord to enter your rental property without giving you any notice? In this video, we'll break down the rules and rights surrounding landlord entry so you know exactly where you stand as a tenant. Let's start by understanding why this question matters and what's at stake for both tenants and landlords. Tenant privacy is a fundamental right in most rental agreements and is protected by law in many regions. This means that, generally, your landlord cannot just walk into your home whenever they please. The right to quiet enjoyment of your space is a core part of being a tenant. This legal principle ensures that you can live in your home without unnecessary disturbances. Understanding this right is the first step in knowing what to expect from your landlord and how to respond if your privacy is breached. In most places, the law requires landlords to provide notice before entering a tenant's home. The amount of notice can vary, but it's often at least 24 hours. This notice must usually be given in writing, stating the date, time, and reason for entry. These requirements are designed to protect tenants from unexpected intrusions and to give them time to prepare. Knowing your local laws is important, as the specifics can differ from state to state or country to country. While notice is typically required, there are exceptions. Emergencies, such as a fire, flood, or gas leak, allow landlords to enter without prior notice to protect the property and its occupant. In these cases, immediate action is necessary, and the law recognizes that safety comes first. However, once the emergency is resolved, landlords are usually expected to inform tenants about the entry and the reasons behind it. Landlords often need to conduct routine inspections to check on the condition of the property. Even for these regular checkups, notice is generally required. The law balances the landlord's right to maintain their property with the tenant's right to privacy. Inspections are usually scheduled in advance, and tenants should be informed about the purpose and timing. Another common reason for landlord entry is to carry out repairs or maintenance. Again, advance notice is typically required unless the repair is urgent and poses a risk to health or safety. Landlords should coordinate with tenants to find a suitable time, minimizing disruption. This process helps maintain a good landlord-tenant relationship and ensures the property stays in good condition. If you're moving out, your landlord may want to show the property to prospective tenants. Laws usually require notice for these showings, and they often specify reasonable hours for visits. Tenants have the right to be informed and to have their schedules considered. This ensures that showings are conducted respectfully and with minimal inconvenience. Notice from a landlord can be delivered in several ways. Common methods include written letters, emails, or even text messages, depending on local laws and what's specified in the lease agreement. It's important for both landlords and tenants to keep records of all communications regarding entry, in case disputes arise later. The definition of reasonable notice can vary. In many places, 24 hours is considered standard, but some areas may require more or less time. The notice should specify the date, time, and reason for entry. If your lease agreement sets out a different notice period, that's usually what applies, as long as it meets the minimum legal requirements. Your lease agreement is a key document that outlines the rules for landlord entry. It may specify notice periods, acceptable reasons for entry, and how notice should be delivered. Always review your lease carefully and ask questions if anything is unclear. Knowing your lease terms helps you understand your rights and responsibilities. Laws about landlord entry can differ widely, depending on where you live. Some states or cities have very specific rules, while others are more general. It's important to check your local regulations to know exactly what's required. Local tenant unions or legal aid organizations can be helpful resources if you're unsure about the rules in your area. Emergencies are one of the few times when a landlord can enter without notice. This includes situations like fires, floods, or other immediate threats to safety or property. In these cases, landlords are allowed to act quickly to prevent harm. After the emergency, they should inform tenants about what happened and why entry was necessary. Sometimes, landlords are required by law to conduct health and safety inspections. These inspections are meant to ensure the property meets legal standards and is safe for tenants. Notice is still required in most cases, unless there's an immediate risk. Tenants should be informed about the inspection schedule and what will be checked. If a landlord wants to enter for a non-emergency reason, getting the tenant's consent is always best. This can be done verbally or in writing, but having a written record is safer for both parties. Consent ensures that everyone is on the same page and helps avoid misunderstandings. If a landlord enters your home without proper notice or a valid reason, it may be considered unlawful entry. This can violate your rights as a tenant and could lead to legal consequences for the landlord. Tenants have the right to document such incidents and seek legal advice if they feel their privacy has been breached. If you believe your landlord has entered unlawfully, start by documenting the incident. Write down the date, time, and what happened. If possible, gather evidence such as photos or witness statements. Next, communicate your concerns to your landlord in writing. If the issue continues, consider contacting a local tenant rights organization or seeking legal help. From a landlord's point of view, entering the property may be necessary for maintenance, inspections, or emergencies. However, respecting tenant privacy is crucial. Good landlords understand the importance of following the law and maintaining open communication with tenants. This helps build trust and prevents conflicts. The law aims to balance the rights of tenants to privacy with the landlord's responsibility to maintain the property. Both parties have obligations. Tenants must allow reasonable access for legitimate reasons, while landlords must respect notice requirements and privacy. Clear communication and understanding of the law help maintain this balance. Besides emergencies, there are a few other situations where notice might not be required. For example, if the tenant has abandoned the property, or if the lease specifically allows entry without notice, for certain reasons. Always check your lease and local laws to see if any exceptions apply. Tenants generally have the right to refuse entry if the landlord hasn't provided proper notice or if the timing is unreasonable. However, refusing entry for legitimate, properly noticed reasons can lead to legal issues. It's important to communicate clearly and try to find a mutually agreeable solution. Tenants often wonder if they can change the locks to prevent unauthorized entry. In most cases, changing locks without landlord permission is not allowed. However, if you feel unsafe, discuss your concerns with your landlord and try to reach an agreement. Some leases may allow lock changes with notice or under certain conditions. Pest control is another reason landlords may need to enter. Notice is usually required, and tenants should be informed about the timing and type of treatment. If you have concerns about chemicals or allergies, let your landlord know in advance so accommodations can be made. Sometimes, landlords need to enter for property appraisals or valuations, especially if they're refinancing or selling. Notice is required, and these visits should be scheduled at reasonable times. Tenants should be informed about who will be entering and the purpose of the visit. Insurance companies may require inspections of the property. Landlords must provide notice and coordinate with tenants to schedule these visits. Tenants should be informed about the inspection and any requirements, such as access to certain rooms or areas. Government agencies may require inspections for code, compliance, or safety. Landlords must provide notice and explain the reason for entry. Tenants should be given enough time to prepare and should be informed about what the inspection will involve. Sometimes, landlords need to allow utility workers to enter for repairs or upgrades. Notice is required, and tenants should be informed about the timing and nature of the work. If possible, landlords should schedule utility work at times that are convenient for tenants. Occasionally, landlords may need to enter to accept or supervise deliveries, such as new appliances or furniture. Notice is still required, and tenants should be informed about the delivery schedule. Clear communication helps avoid confusion and ensures a smooth process. Major renovations or remodeling projects require careful coordination. Landlords must provide notice and work with tenants to minimize disruption. Tenants should be informed about the scope of work, expected timeline, and any areas that will be affected. If the property is for sale, landlords may want to hold open houses. Notice is required, and these events should be scheduled at reasonable times. Tenants have the right to be informed and to have their privacy respected during open houses. Landlords may want to take photos or videos for marketing purposes. Notice is required, and tenants should be informed about when and why the photos will be taken. Tenants can request that personal items not be photographed or that certain areas be excluded. If a landlord suspects a lease violation, such as unauthorized pets or subletting, they may want to inspect the property. Notice is still required, and the reason for entry should be clearly stated. Tenants have the right to know what the landlord is looking for and to be present during the inspection. Noise complaints from neighbors may prompt a landlord to investigate. Notice is required, and tenants should be informed about the complaint and the reason for entry. Landlords should handle these situations respectfully and avoid making assumptions. If illegal activity is suspected, landlords must still follow the law regarding notice and entry. In some cases, law enforcement may be involved. Tenants have rights, and landlords should avoid taking matters into their own hands without proper legal procedures. Fire safety checks are important for everyone's well-being. Landlords must provide notice and inform tenants about the timing and purpose of the check. These inspections help ensure that smoke detectors and other safety equipment are working properly. Water leaks can cause serious damage if not addressed quickly. Landlords may need to enter to check for leaks, but notice is still required unless it's an emergency. Tenants should be informed about the inspection and what areas will be checked. Mold can be a health hazard, so landlords may need to inspect for it. Notice is required, and tenants should be informed about the inspection and any steps they need to take, such as moving furniture or providing access to certain rooms. When appliances break down, landlords may need to enter to repair or replace them. Notice is required, and tenants should be informed about the timing and nature of the repair. If possible, repairs should be scheduled at convenient times for tenants. Seasonal maintenance, such as servicing, heating, or cooling systems, often requires landlord entry. Notice is required, and tenants should be informed about the schedule and what work will be done. Regular maintenance helps prevent bigger problems down the road. Landscaping or yard work may require access to outdoor areas. Notice is still required, especially if workers need to enter fenced or private spaces. Tenants should be informed about the timing and nature of the work. If your rental has a pool, regular maintenance may be needed. Notice is required, and tenants should be informed about when maintenance will occur and what areas will be accessed. This helps ensure safety and keeps the pool in good condition. Roof inspections may be necessary after storms or as part of regular maintenance. Notice is required, and tenants should be informed about the inspection and any areas that will be accessed. Safety precautions should be taken during these inspections. If your rental includes a garage, landlords may need access for repairs or inspections. Notice is required, and tenants should be informed about the timing and reason for entry. Coordination helps avoid inconvenience. Landlords may need to access attics or basements for maintenance or inspections. Notice is required, and tenants should be informed about what areas will be accessed and why. Clear communication helps prevent misunderstandings. In multi-unit buildings, landlords may need to access shared spaces like hallways or laundry rooms. Notice is usually required if they need to enter private areas connected to these spaces. Tenants should be informed about the timing and reason for entry. To sum up, landlords generally cannot enter your home without notice, except in emergencies or specific situations outlined by law or your lease. Notice requirements protect your privacy and help maintain a respectful landlord-tenant relationship. Always check your lease and local laws, communicate openly, and know your rights. By understanding the rules, you can ensure your home remains a safe and private space.